Hi, hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about something that might help a lot of you in dealing with people in the environment, in your locality, people that you know, partners, family, friends. And this comes from the Gnosticism world, where there's three types of, let's say, people on the planet. We have Hylics, Psychics, and Pneumatics. Hylics are people that basically don't have souls. These are people that you see running around places where the lights are on, nobody's home. Arguments you have with people. These are the people that are lining up in some of these places for this coffee glass teddy bear thing where they're punching on in America. For the Starbucks coffee glass thing, they're Hylic people. So what are Hylics? As I mentioned, they're soulless people with a very, very basic consciousness, created by the Archons, part of the fake god that people worship today, Yaldabaoth, the fake god, gave birth by Sophia. So Hylics are created by Archons purely as energy products, because basically Archons feed off people via their energy. So let's say you went to a gambling venue, a strip venue, a pub, a big baseball game, for example, where there's a lot of people gathered. These are feeding grounds for entities and Archons. They attach energetically to you and they feed off your energy. And how do you know that? Because when you get home after these games, or whatever it is you've been with large groups of people, you feel drained, like unbelievably, like you got no idea how much you're drained. Because they gather them in big areas, just like the gladiator days, Rome's, all of this stuff. Put a lot of people in a small area where they can feed. And of course, places like pubs and clubs and things with this alcohol, it lowers people's abilities, let's say, and entities can then attach, hook onto, and that's what they do. So Hylics are the masses that are out there. These are people, they're not going to wake up. There's no waking up. They're just NPCs. They're just running around the planet, just doing their shit, 9 to 5, causing problems for everybody else. Very basic repeating functionality. So after this video, you'll understand. So you'll know the difference between the Hylics, the Psychics, and the Pneumatics. And therefore, if you start feeling this, you'll walk away from the Hylics and just let them do their own thing, because it's like arguing with a drunk or a sick mind. You're not going to get anywhere. And then there's Psychics. So Psychics are the next step up. They have a soul, they have consciousness, but they need a third party, like priests, third party situations that allow them to connect to God, Source, the divine, whatever you want to call it. They need somebody else to help them connect. Hence, the religion grew up the way it was and grew as big as it did, because psychics need the old religious ways to be able to connect to the divine. But these people are created by Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, the fake god, the creator of the Archons. The psychics are also here to be fed off. But the psychics, when they're ready, have an opportunity to become, in an instant, a pneumatic. A pneumatic is a chosen one, but I'll get there in a minute. So psychics can connect to God, Source, but need a third party. They can wake up. A lot of psychics here aren't ready now, but there is a lot of psychics that are ready to wake up. And part of the pneumatics, the chosen ones, mission is to find or locate these psychics. And if the psychics are asking the right questions, then the pneumatics, the chosen ones, can help them awaken. Once they start their awakening, they'll become a chosen one themselves, a pneumatic. Then we have the pneumatics with the other chosen ones. Pneumatics, which I like that word better than chosen ones. Chosen ones is like a fairy tale Hollywood kind of studio written thing. Chosen ones aren't better than other people. They just have different strengths and abilities that allow them to do things in this world that others can't. And pneumatics, especially awakened pneumatics, are here to find other pneumatics in different areas again, whether it's online, out in the world, and awake them. They're ready. Pneumatics are ready to awaken. And so that's a pneumatic's job now, is to not worry about the Hylics. The Hylics are those people that run around going, oh, save me, victim, victim. Let them do what they want. They're just a video game character running around and probably causing a whole bunch of shit for you because we give them permission to give us shit because we don't see who they are. So you'll start seeing these people, Hylics. Lights are on, nobody's home. So it's not really worth interacting too much with these people. And this video is for that, is to start understanding the difference between the Hylics, the psychics, and the pneumatics. So when you're out there, you can identify them and be more aligned of who you are. If you're a Hylic, you're not going to be watching this, number one. You're going to be out doing Hylic things, just dopey shit, like the masses. That's what the masses are. They're unawakenable, non-playing characters. They're not going to ever wake up. They're here to feed the Archons and nothing more. So if you're trying to wake these people up or save them, don't bother. Forgive them, whatever. Give them love. Move on. Send them on their way. Get away from them. They're just going to cause you grief and chaos and drama because that's what they're designed to do. Because when a Hylic is in a good, calm state, which is very rare because they're not designed for that, the Archons find it difficult to feed off them. They have to have an emotional outburst of anger, whether it's the negative or the positive. Even if they're showing joy, whatever that emotion is, if it's over neutral, the Archons are going to feed off that. And of course, if it's in the negative, if you hate somebody with all your heart, which Hylics do, that's why the Archons created them. These entity vampires. Now the Archons have also taken over the reincarnation path. So souls that die now, not necessarily chosen ones. Most of the chosen ones understand, or the pneumatics understand. And we know that sometimes an Archon can get into our thought process and try and bring us into the darker side and leave the lighter side, which is why a lot of chosen ones, or pneumatics, that walk both dark and light, like myself, have found it difficult at times to stay neutral. And it's simply because we're learning, and we're learning about ourselves in the dark and the light. Archons can look through your eyes, create thoughts, bring you to addictions, bring you to lustful thoughts, harmful thoughts, just thoughts that don't align with you. They're designed to drag you more into your shadow self. And pneumatics will resonate with this a lot, because one day you're all love, let's say, I'm not going to say love and light. I can't really say love and light because we all have shadows. We all want to move to the light. We all want to stay in the light. But right now, sometimes we have to dip into the darkness depending on who we're dealing with, especially out in the society. So the Archons, or the Demiurge, Uwaldaba, when the Hylics die, well, they say their consciousness, it's a fake consciousness created by the Archons. It doesn't go back to the monad. That's the true source, is the monad. That's true God, is the monad, and it's light. So when a soul dies, and I tell you what, there's a lot of souls here on this planet, they are trapped. They've done this reincarnation thing through the Archons, they know that, and they don't want to do it anymore. So there's a lot of trapped spirits here. Salem, Massachusetts, USA, for example, there's a lot of spirits trapped there. They don't want to go because they know as soon as they go to the light, the silly Archons up there are going to send them back here and just basically plug in and use them as a product again to drain their energy, their life. So Hylics just run around all day just working and complaining and not really doing anything in life. And that's how the Archons have this reincarnation stitched up. Welcome to do your own research with anything I say here on this channel, any information I'm going to give you. I really encourage you to do your own research and look into it. I really do, because, excuse me, what I'm sharing with you here is just a basic overall. I'll go into deeper detail on some of these things, like the Demiurge, the Archons, what they are, where they're from. The monad, where some ancient souls are from, predate Uwaldaba, the fake god that people worship today. When you say amen, that you're worshipping Uwaldaba, not the monad. This is all programming. I am broke. I can't afford this. This is all programming from the English language, designed to keep you trapped, designed to keep you small, designed to keep you drainable as a product in this prison earth. And times are changing. So when the Archons get into your mind and you feel it, and you say, hey, I see you, and you center yourself, take a breath, center yourself, they can't touch you anymore. They won't leave the Hylics alone, because that's what they're here for. The psychics, if they become pneumatics, they have a greater chance of moving away from the Archon system. But the psychics have to wake up. If the psychics aren't prepared to wake up right now, it's not up to a pneumatic to try to wake them up. See, the thing of the awakening is, and we're not taught this, awakenings, Kondalundi awakenings, can cause great damage to people.
Battery medium. Connect.
Can cause great damage to people. Back in the ancient Egyptian days, with the resonating chambers below the pyramids, there's 12 pyramids here, by the way. In the pyramids, they had giant crystals, gold, chambers, inscriptions. And when an initiate walked into these chambers, the chambers would resonate and bring them into alignment, which would allow them to astral travel, leave their body, and become the multidimensional being that we are. But that was under training. But we're not trained. We're running around going, oh, we're going for an awakening, and losing our shit and having all these symptoms we have no idea about. It's crazy. So pneumatics out there, look out for psychics that need a hand. If they're asking the questions, you're welcome to wake them up. We don't need words. And pneumatics, it's our job to find other pneumatics out there and wake them up so we can raise the collective consciousness frequency. Because once it gets to a certain level, the archons Can't do anything anymore. So on that, do your own research, have a look. Come back and let's have discussions, put them in the comments. Love bringing this to you guys. Love you all. See you in the next one.